I am so sorry I haven't showed you Jack for such a long time, so please say hi. Hi, Jack! This video is a little bit out of my comfort zone, and my brain is trying to talk me out of it, which is exactly the reason why we have to do it. Because if you push your comfort zone, it's gonna grow, and you will learn as a person and grow as a person, and that's awesome, and I want to do that. So let's go.
Varjute uus, jälgivät mun sydä ärevät lööt. Pole kohannut teid, pole liiga mul teinud, kuid kaugelt mööda teist käin. Hirmus sees on leidnud teid läbi teiste teadmise. See on see, pea meeles, ära kunagi nii tee. Tohide seas, soovin kuid eemale hoidma ma pean, soovin kuid eemale hoidma ma pean. Ealt tantsida tohide seas, ealt tantsida tohide seas, soovin kuid eemale hoidma ma pean, sest eemale hoitud on mind nii. Andestage palun mulle mu vead, kõik pole mustvalgelt halb või head. Nõrkus hirm vahel pimedaks teeb, palun püüdke mõista mind veel. Sest nüüd ma tunnen ja nüüd ma tean, tantsida võiksin te seas. Tunnen aeg on muutuda, süda hirmust vabasta.
Okay, so I made this video already because it was Valentine's Day and I wanted to publish it on Sunday before the Valentine's Day, but then I just couldn't. I just couldn't talk about love, and that's really interesting. I've been thinking about it. Why couldn't I make this video? And I literally made this video, and the whole time I was talking, I felt like I'm doing something that is forbidden. And now I've been analyzing this situation and I understand why it's like this, and I want to share it with you. Because I live in a society where people don't express their feelings and emotions. For example, in Estonia, it is weird to say I love you. The words ma armastan sind is so weird. It sounds so wrong for some reason. To say it in English, perfectly fine, but to say it in Estonian, it feels like, what are you doing? Why are you saying this? You know, it's so weird, and the whole time I was making this video I felt like I was doing something that is totally forbidden and I'm gonna go to jail after I publish it, and I couldn't talk like normally, like, because I was like, I had this block in front of me, like some kind of wall in front of me that didn't allow me to talk straight from my heart, and I was just like trying to make something, but this is not to like talk bad about anybody, but this is just to like explain the situation. Our parents' generation is unable to say the words I love you. I have never heard the words I love you from my mother or from my father. I haven't heard them say that to me, to my sisters, to my brothers, or to each other. And I really haven't heard them say I feel this way, I feel sad, I feel angry, I feel happy, I feel excited, this happened to me and this is how it made me feel. I haven't heard those things from my parents, as if emotions and feelings just don't exist, or if there's something that cannot be shared, you know, that everything should be kept to yourself. And it's such a weird thing, but I'm not saying that my parents don't love me or they don't love each other, but they just can't express it with words. And it's not just my parents, I feel like almost everyone's parents that I know. I asked my friends, have your parents ever said to you that they love you? And most people said no. And that is, I think, that is not their fault. That is just how their time shaped them, and their parents, you know. I feel like patterns get carried on from generation to generation, and I feel like we are opening up on such a big scale in terms of emotions and showing emotions and you know, being humans, that we are not those shells or some kind of iron casts or something. Like, we are humans with feelings, and it's okay to express your feelings, and actually you're supposed to do it, because it's so unhealthy to just shut yourself totally off and not talk about your feelings or emotions ever. And so I feel like our generation luckily is changing that pattern. And I want to make this clear, I'm not trying to talk shit about our older generation. I'm just saying that the things that they went through as children, you know, they were wartime children and the Soviet occupation children, and just a very tough time in history, and that obviously has an influence on people and how they you know, grow up and who they become, and so it's funny, but it's like the word "I love you." It's such a beautiful thing to say, and it's just not ever being said. And now I see that our generation is doing that. Actually, I see them say that "I love you" to their kids, and this pattern is being changed, and that's a beautiful thing, I think, because I always say that we want to see some kind of change in the world. We have to be the change, right? We have to do the things that we want to change. And I see that it's really turning around, and I can hear people talk about emotions and feelings and expressing themselves more, and that's a beautiful thing. And I feel like when it comes to love, I don't really have a good experience with men. I've had some very painful experiences in my life, and I'm still searching for the one and only, you know, somebody who would change the story. But I feel like a lot of problems that I have had with men comes from the fact that they are unable to express their feelings, and when they are feeling a certain way, they are unable to talk about it, and they just hold it inside of them, and then at one point they just explodes because they can't or they say something new that comes totally out of blue, because they just weren't able to express themselves when things are building up, and then at one point it reaches the boiling point, and then everything comes out, but it comes like such a big surprise to you, because you never you know, you didn't they never talked anything when they were feeling the way they were feeling, and yeah, I feel like maybe it is also the society's pressure on men to that, you know, men have to be so tough, and they don't have emotions, and they can't cry, and they can't feel sad, and they have to be tough and, you know, be a man. But I feel like this is such a bullshit. Like, I don't think women these days expect men to be like that at all. Like, I think it's even the opposite a little bit in some ways, that we want real relationships with real people. You know, we don't want somebody who is perfect. We want somebody who is real, and real people have real emotions and feelings and thoughts, and I think it's such a beautiful thing when people share their emotions, whether it's bad or good. You know, both feelings, and I don't know. I feel like it would make so many relationships so much stronger when people could just express their feelings and express their love and express their negative emotions as well, their sadness and fears and frustrations and mistakes and things like that, and just talk openly about it, you know. And yeah, men, if you're listening, forget about this stupid stereotype that men are not supposed to have feelings. Like, please, we want real men. We want real men, and real men means that you are a human who is allowed to have feelings and emotions, and we want to get a part of that. We want to, you know, want you to share this with us, because we don't want to be there for you only to celebrate the good stuff. We want to help you through the bad stuff as well, you know, and that's what really, you know, makes any relationship special, you know, to really go through life together and not just be there when it's the good times, but, you know, to experience the full spectrum of life together. So yeah, I mean, this is just something that I have noticed, especially in men, that it's really difficult to talk about some things, and that really, you know, even breaks relationships at the end of the day, because when people don't share, then, you know, you start to feel, okay, why doesn't he talk to me? Why doesn't he not trust me enough to tell me those things? Like, what, you know, you kind of start to like think like this, and then it's just goes just south from there. I think I am in a really interesting place with love right now, because I have really learned in my life that it is better to be alone, to be single, than to be in a bad relationship. And I really believe that, and I think a lot of people are stuck in bad relationships, and they would be so much better on their own. And so it is really hard for me to start to learn how to trust somebody, or to allow myself to trust somebody, because I know how much it can hurt. And I know that I am fine, I'm good on my own. And even though I know I could be even better with somebody who is my true love, but I know I could also be torn to pieces if I get stuck in some bad relationship again, you know, or trust somebody who is not worth trusting, and who is gonna break my heart and leave me like it's nothing. And so I'm like really cautious about love, but I am searching for the one, because I believe in true love. I believe it exists, and I can see it from some people around me, and that's really my motivation. Some couples around me that I see truly loving each other and truly growing together as people, and carrying each other through life. And I believe that we shouldn't give up on love, even if we get hurt a million times. I think we should learn from the bad mistakes, but I think that we should not give up on love, because there is so much to win if you finally find that one person who is going to change the whole story, and who is going to make it all worth every heartbreak, every bad experience that you had. It's not going to matter anymore if you find that one person who really makes you happy, and who really completes you, and who really makes you want to be a better person, and who you can share your life with, you know. And I'm really excited to have and find this. But I'm also, you know, I know I'm good on my own, and I know I'm better on my own than to be in something that is not true love, and that is, you know, harmful. And I am really good now in seeing the signs of that, seeing the signs of manipulation or lying, or, you know, people not being honest or real. And it's an interesting world, you know, and it's an interesting experience to get to know different people, and try to understand who is really here for you, and who is really just like driving by, you know. But even the drive-bys, people who come and then go. I had two really interesting men in this last year that I had something going on, and even though it didn't work out, I'm actually really, really grateful for those experiences, and I wouldn't change it for anything, because I needed those lessons. And even when things don't work out, you still had some beautiful moments, you know, and that's something. And yeah, I think the drive-bys are also big learning experiences, you know. And you know, there is a really high risk it's not going to work out. Love is a really dangerous thing, and it can break us if it's not real love, and we think it is. But you know, I think it's worth it, and if I hope that I will never give up on love, even if I get hurt a million times, and yeah, these are just some thoughts that came to my mind, and I'm still feeling weird. Like I'm still feeling like I'm talking about something that is not allowed. And I know that some patterns inside of us will take much longer time to change. And so, but I'm glad that I made this video, even if nobody got anything out of it. I got so much out of it because I had to fight myself, first of all, for 2 weeks to make this video. and second of all, I did something that I wouldn't think I would ever do. Sit in front of a camera and talk about love, even though I didn't even talk that much about anything. But baby steps, and definitely my comfort zone grew just a little bit. And I think this is how change happens. Change doesn't have to happen overnight, but it's little steps by step. You know, it's one person saying to his kid, I love you, and other people may be seeing that and taking this with them and going to home and maybe doing the same thing, and then it creates this ripple effect. And now all of a sudden it's normal in the society to tell your kid that you love her, or tell your partner that you love her. I mean, it is obviously normal and it should be done. But I feel like the older generation's idea is like, why we have to say that? It's obvious, like, you know, it's obvious that I love her or him, but it's even if we know, it's still nice to hear those words, you know. So I encourage everybody to say these words out to people who you love more, because we need more love in this world, and we need to take better care of each other, you know. It's a tough world out there, you know. So if we have somebody that we love and care for, let them know, you know. There's nothing to lose, but it can make somebody stay, or it can, you know, it will create a better world. I believe that. So thank you so much for being here. I would love to hear your thoughts on love. Is it allowed to talk about it in your society? Did your parents tell you that they love you? And yeah, hit the like button if you liked the video. I just uploaded some photos to my shop. If you want to go and look it up, where I have a shop where you can buy my photos, prints and digital downloads. So link in description, viivekairemanen.com, if you want to see it. And also, if you want to support my channel, so to make sure that I can make videos, keep making videos, then I have a Buy Me a Coffee page where you can just make a one-time donation, or you can become a monthly donator to help me out and to... Sorry, Jack is distracting me. Jack always comes and starts digging behind my legs so that I will fall in. I definitely fell for Jack. Love him so much. But yeah, buymeacoffee.com/viivekairemanen if you want to support the channel. Thank you so much for being here. And yes, I will see you on the next one.